So we've been on this mission over the last couple of years to learn more about the plants all around us and incorporate a lot of these herbal and medicinal plants into our world. But when I dive into the world of plant medicine and culinary herbs and all these things, it quickly gets overwhelming because there's like a million different herbs out there, and every recipe that I see calls for using like 10 different herbs in these different proportions with all these other ingredients that I don't know what they are. And so when I'm looking to do this, I'm looking to do this in a way that is super simple, using the basic herbs that we have right out our back door. Things like dandelion and plantain, nettle and mint, and these things that I know what they are and they're super easy to incorporate in what we are eating and things that we're making. And so that's the way that we approach these herbs, in a way that is super simple, that is super doable. And so with that in mind, I'm going to teach you how to make one of our family's favorite flourless mint brownies. So when we first began learning medicinal plants and what even was growing in our own backyard and things that we could forage for, a couple great resources were really helpful for me along the way. And so the first one was this book, Medicinal Herbs, A Beginner's Guide by Rosemary Gladstar. And so this is like the beginner's herbal Bible. It has just like 30 to 40 really basic herbs that she talks about in it, what they look like, how to find them, and then the properties that they have. And so I go to this thing time and time again when I'm looking up just really basic information on the most foundational and basic herbs. And there's so much good information in here. So you don't need to feel like you need to know every single plant on the planet in order to start incorporating them into your cooking and into your medicine cabinet. You can just know a handful of really basic herbs that grow right outside your back door and start incorporating them into your life. And so this Medicinal Herbs Beginner's Guide is a great one to get started. Another one of my favorite resources actually is an app called Picture This. And so I just use the really basic free version. And so how it works is you just take pictures of plants, and then within seconds it identifies what those plants are and tells you their uses. And so that was super helpful as I was beginning to learn this. I would walk around our yard, and any plant that I didn't know what it was, I would just start snapping pictures of it and learning. And so really quickly, by doing that, I was able to start identifying different plants, knowing what they were and knowing what their uses were. And so I could start picking them if we wanted to pick them, or at least know what they were. And so those two things have been really helpful for us as we have started learning and exploring and then incorporating a lot of these really simple herbs and medicinal plants into our cooking and into our medicine cabinet and into just these really basic uses. And so mint is one of our favorite plants. It grows like crazy. You likely have it growing somewhere on your property or know someone who does. It grows, it's a perennial, it keeps coming back year after year, and it tends to take over and spread because it grows so quickly and easily. And so there are two main types of mint that you see. One is peppermint and the other is spearmint. So actually we have spearmint growing in our yard. And spearmint tends to be a bit more mild and calm compared to peppermint, which has a more strong and robust flavor. But mints are awesome. They're known for their digestive properties, so they're super soothing on your tummy. Whenever I'm feeling like tummy upset or nausea, I just go chew on a few mint leaves, honestly, and it like instantly calms it. Or some peppermint tea is awesome for that. But it's also just a super refreshing and delicious ingredient to have on hand. And so one of the ways that we love to use it is making these really simple chocolate mint brownies. So they're flourless, gluten-free, and they really only use a few ingredients that you probably have in your pantry already. And so along with my learning herbs, one of the things that I wanted to do was I figured in order to teach myself these things, if I could explain them to my kids, it would teach them, but it would also cement the ideas of what these herbs are and how to use them in different cooking practices in my own head. And so as I've been learning about different herbs, I've been trying to teach them what properties that they have and ways that they could use them in cooking and practice doing that together. And so these chocolate mint brownies are one of our family's favorite ways to do this. It's super easy, super quick, and they are so yummy. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so like I said, the ingredients in these flourless chocolate mint brownies are super basic. So all you're gonna need is a cup of chocolate chips. So feel free to use whatever brand of chocolate chips you prefer for allergen-free or whatever. And then you need a half a cup of coconut oil or butter, and then your mint. And so to get mint, you can either go out and preserve and just grab some fresh mint, or if mint isn't fresh, what I like to do when it is just grab a bunch of mint and then dry it out on cookie sheets until it gets dry and crispy. You can do it in your oven, in a dehydrator, or just out in the sun. And then I just store it in mason jars for use all year. And so you're gonna use a couple tablespoons of mint leaves, and then a half a cup of brown sugar or coconut sugar or white granulated sugar would work as well, a quarter cup of cocoa powder, and then 3 eggs, and I like to throw in just a little bit of salt. But that's it, that's all you need. So what you're gonna do first is you're gonna heat up the chocolate chips and either your coconut oil or butter on the stove just to get them melted. And while you're have them heating up on the stove, you'll add in a couple tablespoons of your mint to that mixture, and then the mint will steep in to that hot warming up mixture of your fat and your chocolate chips to get that nice minty flavor. And then from there, you're gonna pour that melted coconut oil, chocolate chip, mint concoction into your blender or your food processor and then you'll go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients, so your cocoa powder, your eggs, your sugar, and your salt into your blender or your food processor, and then you'll just blend everything up. And so that way you don't have to worry about straining out your mint leaves or having that bad texture of your mint. You can just go ahead, mix everything up, and when you're mixing it in a food processor or a high-powered blender like a Vitamix, the mint just basically, you can't taste that texture, and it just leaves this really yummy chocolate minty batter. And then from there, you'll go ahead and pour it in an 8x8 pan and cook it for about 25 to 30 minutes at 350 degrees. And that's it. Then you have your chocolate mint brownies. And so we love this one. It's such an easy way to go ahead and incorporate awesome plant and herbs from outside to teach your kids about growing herbs and incorporating them into your cooking. And it's super easy. Kids can make it, you can make it. It's just a really fun one to make together. And so if you're looking for more homestead how-tos, nourishing recipes, and tips for natural living, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to our channel below, and we'll see you in our next video.